is something that I wrote for a poetry class that I'm taking now. And I hope I don't seem like I'm a terribly, terribly angry person. Although my selection of poems today does seem to be a tad of that mind. And I think that may be perhaps the pandemic having an influence, making emotions raw. And this is called, I Am Angry Grateful. I am angry grateful for the lessons that you taught me, for kicking me in the teeth so many times when I was down, blood on the ground, writhing in bad dreams, or living through what you threw, lobbed, shot, shoved, manipulated, though at me, from under and behind and above me. Like a boxer, I landed on the ropes. Like a wrestler, I flipped out of the rings. Like a broken lover, I fell to my knees and said, why, oh, why me? A used and battered boxer, I clawed my way up. I have landed on my 2 strong feet. Ha! I am angry grateful that you took me down and wrung me out and schooled me and drubbed me and scrubbed me with all the violence and vitriol you could, because I have just landed on my 2 strong feet. All your lies, I am better for them. Your trash talk, I stand taller for them. Your belittling scorn and double talk, I owe you. You don't owe me. Ha! Your exceptional rudeness, crassness, blindness to my strong, powerful, amazing abilities, the one you cannot see and have not heard, the one you cannot and have not buried. I still stand, I still stand, I still stand. I am clear-headed, a nasty woman now, and I talk back like this, like that. I stand my ground, move over. I am grateful, angry grateful for the lessons you taught me, life. You gave me back my me. You gave me back my me in big horse-sized bitter pills. And still I rise up even stronger than the day you forced me from my warrior mama's womb. Ha! So that really, the subject of the anger is life. And I think that anyone, military, civilian, poet, lover, young, old, we can all feel the slings and arrows of life and want to fight back and hopefully reach a place where we do fight back and we do stand strong and we do own who we are, and we may be damaged, but we can still write about it. I don't always write contemplative but angry contemporary poems. I often write light poems, not jingles necessarily, but sometimes we all have to get away and we have to think of the senses and the emotions and what is the pandemic doing to us and what are our needs, what are we feeling? And I think this might help you see that I think we're all feeling a range of experiences, not the least of which is being cut off, starved from touch, from kisses, from hugs, from our loved ones, be it a parent or a grandparent or a lover, a partner, a child. So here's one called Read a Good Book Last Night. I open one body of work with its firm spine. I still like hard copy books with pages that smell of ink. I love the undiscovered pages and read as if it is written in Braille. In a way, in this pandemic, it is. Soon I know the soft pages and feel the paragraphs under my skin, inside and out, and I love what I read and I laugh. We feel like lovers, the words and I. We take turns reading aloud and discover new sounds throughout the book and the words across its pages, full of new question marks and lingering old ones. This one body of work touches me in special places. We read long into the night. So I hope you like that. Another one is called hope. And I believe that not only in this time, but forever, mankind and womankind has always had to hold hope in a very special place in their heart. And yet one can also be angry. Hope and angry are not inconsistent. So here is hope. If you stand on my neck, I will take you down as long as you don't kill me. Assuming that you don't slash my throat so that I cannot scream, or cut off my hands, so I cannot write, or break my legs, so I cannot run, I will take you down. That's called hope. Call me a self-realized woman, woke. Call me respect and standing tall or brave and leaning in and talking up, or just plain old fed up. Call me a tough bitch, a libber, a whore, aunt, mother, daughter, sister, friend. I will still take you down if you disrespect me. That's hope. If you persist in your wish to stomp the heart out of me, if you refuse to get off my soul, I may die today, but I will GPS myself back. I will take you down if you slash my hope tomorrow. Future generations will shake you down if 3 years from now you steal my dreams, or our children's children's dreams. They will make new ones. If you try to break my legacy in the next few decades, or days, or weeks, or hours, you will have no place to run. You will have nowhere to go. This is one big, powerful wallop of hope. And I hope that is something that makes you think that hope is not necessarily a warm and fuzzy little nugget that you hold in your heart, but hope is a dream that you will leave something better behind. And so that's where that came from. Here's another poem that I actually got the title from because when I was growing up, my father had grown out of the Depression years. And he used to have a phrase that they were so poor that they made soup out of stones. And I know other people have sort of used that title and written about it, but I'm just coming from a personal place where my dad used to somewhat jokingly refer to stone soup, where his mother would throw stones in a pot with whatever vegetables they could scrabble together, and that would be their dinner. So I'm calling this pandemic stone soup. When the grocery store shelves are bare because the swift 18-wheeled trucks have nothing to deliver, because there is no one to load or unload the unpicked potatoes rotting in the fields, the tomatoes, lettuce, carrots rotting in the fields, the apples, lemons, almonds, figs that slip to the ground with no one to pick them, because the pickers are all in cages on the borders and no one has work and everyone is afraid to go outdoors to mix or blend with the masses or pick the apples or lemons or cherries or almonds or potatoes. Try to breathe, make stone soup. How? With no consistent money coming in, no prospects? Try to live with unemployment at an all-time high? Try to pay for that potato with a promise? Will America be a great nation once again, this time surviving on stone soup? I have to thank my dad for that. So I would like to read something that might be just a tad lighter, and let me see if I can pull something out here. This one I think you might find interesting because it is about love. Love Never Dies is the name, and I think you'll see where I'm going with this. I hope so. There are so many things we take for granted that we will wake up the next morning. Our mothers and fathers will too. The newspaper will be in the driveway where it was thrown. The mail will be pushed through the slit in the door by 3 p.m. The internet connectivity bill will come on time this month. There are eggs in the refrigerator and butter. My car has enough gasoline to get me to Santa Monica. The heirloom tomatoes and basil need watering. There are all these items we take for granted until we can no longer. One awkward breath, one sigh, touch, and the day changes. Nothing anymore can be taken for granted. Everything has the probability of change, an expiration date come perhaps too soon. And that leaves us where? Simply where we were before, believing nothing changes until the next change changes. Love never dies, it just changes. This is called Making Cecilia's Irish Bread. And it's actually something that I began writing during the pandemic. Initially, I think everyone in the pandemic was feeling an intense pressure of an unknowingness. How would this Corona-19 virus affect us? Would it kill us all, especially those of us over 65? So I think that feelings were ramped up. We were intense. Perhaps our emotions were exaggerated. And I think that this poem came from that for me. And humorously, I did notice that both my friends and I and many others on Facebook were all baking bread. There seemed to be a theme there. So this again is called Making Cecilia's Irish Bread. A traditional girl of Irish heritage, herself a bread of Guinness stout, likes her loaf with a golden crust from baking soda, buttermilk, and salt. Instructions: bread, flour, water, baking soda, a bowl. Ingredients: mix well, lift the edges of the soft dough out, expertly sliding under Cecilia's sweet center out. If necessary, dust gently. If not, proceed. After the first rise is full, complete. Help it down by folding it over and back on itself. Repeat. Sometimes soda alone elevates the dough. Sometimes it needs help. Perhaps a hint of barley brown or honey to increase the tamp. Add tiny currants or raisins to taste. Introduce a dash more, whatever there is. Be creative. Be not shy when working with Cecilia's dough. Never too salt, never too much salt, never too sweet. Covered, uncovered, warm, draft-free. Leave fingers close by the second coming of the dough. Never long, springs back, firm, dry palms need. K-N-E-A-D. Soft, beguiling, supple, breathing, Cecilia's bread is always sighing to what surely must be the second coming, the basic rustic artisan nutrients of love. Too sweet?